right, you guys ready to see the band you came to see tonight? All right, guys. Make a lot of noise for him. Guys, everybody. Norm Macdonald.
Guys, God damn. I got a strand of pork in my teeth. I have pork sandwich, and I didn't have time to brush my teeth. I just snarfed it down real fast. So anyway, I got a strand of pork in between two of my teeth. So I will be trying to get that strand out of my tongue during the program, you know, like, so you listen to the jokes and watch me try to get a strand of pork out. And I didn't eat the fucker if I can get it out. You know, I don't know how you guys do, you just throw it away or if you eat it. But I like pork when it's like it got some plaque on it and shit. Anyway, I got it. Sometimes I think I got it. Sometimes I bite my fingernails. I use it as a toothpick. We took an Uber here, right? And took an Uber. Now I don't know anything about Ventura. Nothing. Yeah. What the fuck am I supposed to know? But anyways, I get in, the guy's like telling me, she's like, oh, this is the greatest city. It's like racial. It's like, there's no racial problems in Ventura. And I'm like, come on, man, there's racial problems everywhere. He's like, not here. It's not, everybody get along. But then I said, I've been here 2 days. I haven't seen one black person, man. All I see is white people.
Is this a good place to watch? This is cool.
So I says to the guy, I says to him, I look into there, I says to him, I says,
I know.
It's easy to say you're liberal, you don't have any black people in the whole city. And then he says, we got our share.
So this is going to get me nothing. I promise. I'm almost sure of it. Dude, that was really enjoyable. I can't believe it.
You look like you're having fun.
I really.
All my life I had
like
to do
any
with
other
racist
set.
cabbies. I don't know why cabbies are so fucking racist. But like I live like I don't drive a car, and I lived in the way in the fucking suburbs. So the cabbie would drive me. It'd be 15 miles and fucking nothing, land, nowhere. I couldn't get out, you know. And then the guy would say some racist thing, and then I don't know where you're supposed. I guess you're supposed to argue with the guy, but I don't know. I don't want to be on Crossfire all of a sudden with some fucking cabbie. Sometimes I say stuff, I don't even know what fucking race he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, they got a name or something. You know? I tell you, bro, too many brindle heads for that.
Brindle heads?
But if I was stronger morally, I'd probably argue with the guy. But I just want to fuck get home. I'd be fine. By the end of the trip, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You had the right idea. Anyway, over here. It's just over in the corner here. God damn, man. We took an airplane and we were in Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't know if you ever been there. Let me tell you something about Las Vegas. I believe that I've seen in Las Vegas, like sometimes you'll just catch you ever just catch a glimpse of something that tells you the whole story, or maybe you hear like a little
Change this because I made fun of it.
Conversation, and it tells you a much larger story.
never mind.
And I feel that I'll give you an example. Like one time, I was walking beside, there was two homeless guys on the street. They were just sitting beside each other, and one homeless guy says to the other, he goes, "When the fuck did you ever play goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens? What a..." So you'd had enough of this guy's horse shit, you know what I mean? But I feel like when I was in Vegas, I just heard something. You know, I saw an event. Because here's the thing about Las Vegas: people go there. Sometimes they have systems. You know, they're gonna break the bank. They're gonna beat the casino. You know, so they come there with a system. And sometimes these systems actually don't work at all. And I feel that I saw a system in its unravel, you know, because I'm on the elevator, that's all I see, but it says a lot more. It's just a guy and his wife, and the guy looks at his wife, and he says, "I don't give a fuck what I say, give me the money." It's my money, so I feel they had a system in play, but he was going to abandon that system. Have a new system where he bet all the remaining money on red, and then return to the system.
We want anything, we get free food too. Not to we get anything.
This is how irrational that you are in a casino. I go to pass the roulette table, right? Yeah. So I had $200 put on red, right? So I put $200 on red. So the wheel spins, and then it lands on black, and then I go, fuck, I almost picked this. And everybody understood me. They're like, you can't overthink it. That's the thing. You gotta go with your first instincts. If you're ever gonna beat this game, you can't. Las Vegas has an odd slogan. This is a slogan for their city. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Now, most cities have slogans that are nice. Like, you know, like Atlanta, Georgia, they go, hey,
people don't know that slogan.
Peach? You like peaches? I don't know the exact one.
You like a
but
menu?
they're nice, you know what I mean?
I'll bring you a little menu. I got nothing to do. I've seen this.
Sorry, kind. Thank you.
Rhode Island, home of the dogwood. You know, do you like a dogwood? Do you like looking at dogwood? But they're nice things. And then Las Vegas is like, listen.
Oh, this is a really good joke. After this joke. This is a really good joke. I gotta tell you what I had. Many things are bad. Wait, hold on. This is a great joke. This is a great joke.
And then what does it really mean, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? It's not like you can kill someone and then just leave. I mean, you know, they're going to follow you, they're going to catch you, bring you back to Vegas, you know. Try it in front of a jury of your peers, you know.
This one right
So I try to figure what are they actually saying, and this is what I came up with. When it's reduced to its essence, you know, all it really means is that you go to Las Vegas, you can have sex with a prostitute, and she will not tell your wife back home. Las Vegas prostitutes are very, very discreet. You know, not like your hometown, fucking blabbermouth whore back there. Fucking gossipy. Maybe in a beauty parlor with that pale blue thing over their head, whatever the fuck that is. Go, so you're Alex Majerison's wife. My God, it's a small world. How about that? He took a shit on me last night. In exchange for cash, he should have won. Small world. Isn't it funny that people say small world? What the fuck? Just because you see, you know, you're like, one time I went to, wow, small world.
Yeah.
Small.
Okay.
I had the pizza, gluten free.
Yeah.
It shows you it's not small because you rarely say small world. That shows you it's not.
Potato salad.
Like mostly, you go,
Artichoke
where are
dip
you
is hard to
from?
mess
I'm
up,
from
right?
Ottawa. What about you? I'm from Paris, France. God damn, it's a big world. Such a large globe to live on, you know?
Yeah, the edamame.
I do.
You like edamame?
Better get both.
Because it's bigger all the time. Yeah.
With the baba ganoush.
Yeah, I love that.
Gluten-free option.
That's good.
We have. Where's the?
But I took the airplane. God damn, it was scary. There was turbulence, and I hate the airplane anyway. But anyways, there was turbulence.
It's the
and,
pita
whatever,
chips.
You know, got through
Plus
it. But this is what I do in an airplane. I always pick the window, the aisle, the seat Sometimes window, sometimes out, but it's the seat that's in the exit row. And the reason is you get extra leg room, and all you have to do to get the exit row is lie. You just have to lie to the stewardess comes up to you. They don't call themselves stewardesses anymore. Flight attendants, the ladies, the guys. We used to call them flight attendants. Gay guys, we call them if they were guys. But now flight attendants. Anyways, they come up to you, they say, listen, if the plane should get in a crash and gray white smoke starts billowing, rushing toward you, would you mind letting everyone else out first? Mind helping out? And then you go, yes! Yes, I would like to do that. I was going to ask you if I could do that. That's funny you brought it up, because sure, yes. If I could do that. After you, please. I know they give you those fucking... One I'd never heard before, I guess that they've been saying, but I guess I kind of tuned it out, but they go, if the oxygen mask comes down, make sure you put it on your own face before you put it on your little child's. And I was like, oh, well, my fucking plane, you don't blame it. Here's the thing, I am not an aeronautical engineer. I don't pretend to be. Sometimes I pretend to be. Sometimes I want to get a lady, you know, and try to convince her to let me lie down on top of her. I pretend not to be aeronautical. But this is what I know. You crap, man, that's all fucking, they say these big speeches to give you some comfort, you know, oh, your seat cushion. When does a plane ever go into the Pacific Ocean and then the newsman's like, it's all right though, everybody sitting on their cushion. They're floating around, helicopters.
I'm having the best time of my life.
Glad to hear it.
I did not think that sounded good because I was thinking of so many things.
I don't think sharks have facial expressions, but you know.
That's good.
You know
But I was
what
like,
I'm
I was too micromanaging too many things.
Plane
Like,
crashes,
try to think of what
it's
what
over,
show
man. You're just,
idiot. But it was really hot.
you were just reduced to, you know, you're just all, everything is democratic because they can't even tell you, you know, it's not like they walk in and see a bunch of people in the plane. They walk in and see a bunch of just stuff, you know, some plain load of red stringy stuff everywhere.
Not ready for ma'am.
The Jeremy did a good job.
Remains, that's what they call it, but
Jeremy did a good job too.
let's be serious, it's stuff, come on. And then, your family, they want to get your remains. You know? Because then they can have some closure. You know, because, you know, man, you can imagine, you know, your dad, damn, I can't sleep at night. 5 days, all I can think of is my kid that I love so much. I wish I could see his remains. I think that would provide some closure for me. I'd sleep easy that night after a bag of his remains. And it's not like you're going to get a bag of his remains anyway. It's not him. Like you think they go, oh, look, a strand of strawberry blonde hair. Hey, I bet that's from Samantha in row 3. Put that there. I found her shin bone earlier. Now get that over. They don't construct people. It's just people that find your ID go, Norm, look, it says 190 pounds. Okay, shovel 190 pounds of stuff into a bag. Write Norm on the side of that bag. Send it to Norm's mother. She wants to see it. And then my mother goes, excellent. I don't remember Norm having 3 eyeballs. That's it. I guess none of us knew him really. Ultimately unknowable, you know. What, the Andes? Who the fuck would fly over the Andes? Like, every flight I take, I go, you guys don't fly over the Andes, right? Like, it's not great with geography and shit. I go, I'll pay extra to go around. I don't want to. Some people don't care. They go, hey, you got anything where I fly over the Andes? Anything? I'd like to get a small plane and fly over the Andes in a small plane that's white, like a snow white plane. Do you have any of those? Fuck that, because then you, of course, you instantly crash into the Andes. It says on your ticket, it says stop over the Andes, side of a mountain, Andes. So anyways, that's a clue. That should be a clue, right? Then you have to crash. Then you have to struggle with the moral, battle of course, cannibalism. Now, I'm against cannibalism. If you know anything about me at all, if you know any of my work, I like to give back. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's fucking retarded. People give me stuff. I don't know why I give it back. But anyways, I do. And one of my big causes is I'm anti-cannibalism. I go everywhere and I talk. I'm not talking about here. I'm not going to stand up here and preach to you people because, you're adults. Your views on cannibalism are I'm not going to change anybody's mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm against it, you're for it, whatever. We'll just have to agree to disagree. But what I want to get... Do you ever try to agree to disagree with a guy and he doesn't go for it? You're like, huh? Like, I thought you had to. Like, well, we'll just have to agree to disagree. It's like, nope. What? I disagree that we're agreeing to disagree. Anyway. I take my anti-cannibalism message to the kids. I go to high schools, and I travel all across this great continent, except for Mexico. I'm not fucking going to Mexico. But other than Mexico, I travel all across this great continent, and I tell them about cannibalism. I'm like, and I talk their language. I go, listen, kids, you might think it's cool to be a cannibal, I'm not going to lie to you. It is, for a while they'll be talking about you. You eat a fucking guy in calculus class, you've been talking to school for quite some time. But the future, I'm trying to tell them about the future. But you got to have stuff you believe in, I'm also anti-landmines. These fucking things. The great Lady Princess Di got me out of this, and I never knew really how I felt about landmines, and I heard her speak once, and I realized, what the fuck? Like, you think it's grass. This is what I really don't like about it. If it was just landmines sitting around, it would be fine. But they pretend to be grass. And they walk along, hey man, this grass feels good between my toes. Nice and like cool between, and then you blow up. So I go and I bring my other protesters, and I have a big sign, and the sign says, "No more landmines." I made that up. And I just go, "No more landmines." It's my sign, and everybody behind me, and it makes you feel good because you're doing some good in the world, and the good thing is that people like to honk the horns. They're always on your side, and there's never any counter-protesters. Once in a while, you'll see one guy, more landmines, more landmines. But he's in the pocket of the landmine companies. I don't know about that shit. Well, how about that big election gonna come up now? All these fucking candidates and all this shit. Fucking fuck. Like, people always say to me, because I'm Korean, hey, wow, with all this politics, you must have material, right? You get script all these jokes? And I'm like, no, I don't know. Don't know anything. That's the problem. You have to have opinions. Here's the thing: to be a good comic or a good person, you have to have a strong point of view. You have to have opinions, and I don't have it. I come from a time when I was young. It's not like today. Back when I was young, people had, I don't know, 5, 6 opinions. That was enough to get through life. Most of them were about food, you know what I mean? Sometimes a color, you know what I mean? But now you're supposed to have an opinion about any question anybody asks you. You're required to have a fucking opinion about it? I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know. Now listen, that is a legitimate opinion to have, by the way. And I know because I see sometimes they'll ask questions, right? Be on the news like CNN, and they'll have a question. It'll be very difficult. It'll be like, do you believe the gross national product may be affected by the Sea of Japan? Or something like that. At the end of the program, of the news program, they tell you the results of the poll, you know? The people all phoned in, and they say, like they show it, and the results in a pie chart. That's fun, you know? Because it reminds you of a pie. And on the pie chart, they show wedges of pies. And so it'll be like 45% yes, 45% no. And then it'll always be like a little sliver, 10%, I don't know. So that's a lot of people, you know, 10%. It doesn't sound like a big fraction. However, you know, there's 400 million people in this country. That's 30, 40 million people. I don't mind. I answer those fucking things all the time. Anytime I see a poll on it, you know, I'll phone up, man, I want my voice. You know what I mean? I go, hello. Listen, is this the TV? Yes. You just asked a question on it. Yeah, I don't know. But hey, how about this? I got a question for you. What did that second word mean? It did? All right, fine. I better end up with that fucking pie chart. I'll tell you that right now, I'm upset. You watch as the election goes on. It's starting now, you know, and people are already coming out with their positions. And it's always like so difficult at the beginning. Because here's the thing: at the beginning of the election process, like it's a year and a half before. So anybody that's interested in it are people that are very interested in politics. So then they have to be very, very smart. They're trying to get the smart people. So they'll, you know, like a guy will come on TV, you know, or a lady.
Artichoke?
Was he sitting back here with you?
Yeah, very. There. Thank you so much.
Just let him know that we couldn't burn them because the cook said it was something
saying that more
I don't know what
often
he said.
lately.
Cool.
So,
I'll let him know. Thank you. May I get a water as well?
yeah, come on
Thank you so
TV,
much.
and he'll say, hey, listen, if you want to hear my solutions on the debt crisis as well as immigration and health reform, just go on my website and you can read I have a whole policy paper. It's 35 pages long. And then I go, oh, no. I won't be doing that. You seem like a nice enough person and everything like that, but here's the thing. I will not be reading your 35-page policy paper. And I'm going to tell you why. Earlier today, my friend was telling me that I only get the one life. So I got 2 seasons of Matlock to get through. But the funny thing is that you think that I don't know people are not important. That's what elections always turn on, because you know the election goes on and it starts like a year and a half before it goes on, and then like a week before they still don't know. It's always close, and then they go, well, we got the people who are locked in on this side and locked in on this side, but what about those fuckers that don't know shit? The undecided. It's been going on for a year and a half. Elections 2 days from now, they've still not decided. We gotta get them. And then the ads no longer about reading 35-page policy papers. They get very, very simple, you know. And be like, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you like green? You like the color green? And I'm like, yeah, fucking right, son. The guy's like, well, so does this guy. And there's a guy waving. He's got a green shirt on. And then I'm like, God, hey, Ruth, get out here. Finally, a guy is out here talking. Ruth! You know I'm always talking about how cool green is and shit? Here's a guy who's speaking to me. Finally. It's hard to fucking have an opinion. You know, that's why I don't often go to parties and stuff like that, because people always like, opinions. I try to stay away from any smart people, like if they got a fucking pipe or something like that. Fuck that guy. And in one-on-one conversations, I find hard. My friend was telling me, it's easy. He goes, the key to communication is just listen to the person. And I can do that. That's my best thing. Listening. You know, I can do that forever. Just stand there and listen to some fucking guy talk. But it's not enough, because eventually the guy stops talking, and then you're like, oh, I forgot to think of something to say. I'll be honest with you. Listen. You keep talking. Next time you stop, I'll think of something to say. So what do you have to do? You have to do 2 things. You have to listen to the guy, right? But then if he mentions anything you know about, anything at all, then you put that in the back of your head. Like maybe he says he brings up the funds, or he brings up, I don't know, Star Trek or something like that, whatever. And then you go, wait a second, I know something about Star Trek. I'll wait till this fucker stops talking. Then I'll tell him that cool thing I know about Star Trek. Excellent. Doodly doo doo doo. This is what peace feels like. Sometimes a guy will change the subject. You ever have that? You're all zoned out in your peaceful state. Then you look up and the guy's like, anyways, the Panama Canal. You're like, oh! I'm sorry for saying, oh, like that, but listen. Listen now. Very interesting that what you're saying now is very interesting. But hey, let's forget about now for a second. What about then? Remember you were talking about Star Trek? Anyways, the interesting thing about Star Trek. You know the spaceship that, Captain Kirk and Dr. Spock, who's a half a man, half of a volcano. That ship that they went on was not actually called the Star Trek. It's called the Enterprise, the USS Enterprise. That's a true fact. All right, you can talk now. And here's another thing, because I don't know anything, but I got this here, as I'm sure you guys have, my magic phone. This fucking thing has everything in it. Everything. So they can say any motherfucking thing, anything at all, you know what I mean? They can go like, I don't know if you have seen this new movie with, are you familiar with the actor Viggo Mortensen? And then I'm like, of course I'm familiar with, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then I go. Then I come back about 25 minutes later, and I'm like, listen, I just wanted to say about, we were talking about Viggo Mortensen. And this is what I'd like to say. He is an American actor.
Appreciate it.
What do I want your name to be? It's like we're in a fucking love movie or something.
Can we get some napkins as well? Is there napkins as well? Thank
Whatever
you
you
very much.
want it to be, baby. I don't know. Stork? That's a cool name.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Man, you ever have the sniffles and then you think everybody thinks you got coke? Like you at a party, you got sniffles, everybody's like hanging around you, you're like, no, all right. No, you're just hanging around me, buddy. It was a
It's
virus.
embarrassing. Can we eat some of this?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
I
Yeah.
got something,
Totally
my doctor told me about it today, I don't know
If
what
I tell you what I
don't
asked
think
for, that's
I'm,
not it.
They said they couldn't do it.
I
The
don't
chef said
understand
it's
these
not
doctors
possible,
gobbledygook.
unfortunately.
You told me I
Over
was
the
more
top.
virus than
No,
host.
it's just
Anybody know
cheddar
what that
cheese
means?
and avocado.
Oh, well. They said, let him know that unfortunately we couldn't do it how we wanted.
So instead they got me to go fuck yourself.
Why
Guess
can't
so.
you, if your foot hurts, you can't go to the fucking foot doctor? What? Alright? Doesn't that seem like makes sense? Your foot hurts, you find a foot doctor.
Dude, let's
Try
get
it.
some
You go,
bitches
hey, foot doctor, my foot hurts. He goes,
I mean-
hey, just go to a regular doctor and they'll send you.
Really?
I don't know what I'm
So you go to
saying.
the regular doctor, you pay Agnes $80, and then
The
you go to
people
the
who
foot
are
doctor.
hungry. Is these two different things?
And he does
Because
some
you love to
stuff
say
while
that.
you're there, like he takes
Here's
your blood
4,000
pressure.
napkins.
Yeah.
What are those regular doctors? Everything ever comes.
What is anything?
They take.
That's hummus.
My blood
What's
pressure.
this?
Must be Baba Hanoush.
Which is
That's fun. Like your
Eggplant.
one arm feels like Superman. Yeah, I was thinking about this today, by the way. Why does Superman need an alias name? Why can't he just live in the fucking fortress of solitude?
bring these
Get
closer.
ladies and lie down and down. What the fuck's he doing having a 9-to-5 job? Everybody trees my shit,
this
you
one?
know?
It's the artichoke spinach.
Compared to
could be
Superman,
good,
like
right?
who could be compared to
Very
Superman
good.
anyways? I don't know why they pick him all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah, Superman's a hero. You're a cowardly piece of shit, Clark. Like if I was Clark Kent, the first thing I do is burn all these fuckers with my eyes. And burn them to death, you know?
What's that? Edamame?
No, that's maybe it is.
What is edamame as a dish?
It's like a bean.
Oh,
Those
we're done with the dogs,
ground
so,
up, those Japanese things just ground up?
I guess so. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just saying the
a bottle
doctor,
of mayonnaise?
regular GPs do very little, you know? Like they'll
Sounds
check
healthy.
pulse and they'll go like this.
Healthy. Bottle of mayonnaise sauce?
Sometimes you ever have where they just say stuff that's smart because they're doctors, but really all they're doing is saying the same thing that you said to them. You know? Like one time when I said, Doc, I don't know, I got something where I'm tired all the time. It just sounds like chronic fatigue syndrome. I'm like, yeah, what's that? He's like, well, chronic means always, and fatigue means tired, and syndrome means something you got. You got something. Anyways, just pay Agnes on the way out $80. But listen, first, I'm going to hit your knee with a hammer, and then they hit your knee with a hammer. Why they still do that from the cartoons back in the 40s? They still
hit
do
your
that.
knee
You
with
go
a
to the
hammer?
doctor, every time I go to the doctor, he hits my knee with a fucking hammer, and I'm like, ah, my knee! And then he writes down, excellent, he writes down. So that's exactly how you should respond. Struck in the knee by a hammer. Good for you. Well. You're not paralyzed. I don't know, doctors, what can they, here's the thing, I'm old now, right? As you can tell by the fact that I bought this jacket. But I looked in the mirror and I was like, what the fuck that fucking happen? Like a salesman.
Yeah.
I want to put this all in front of you. And move it.
Anyway,
I want any more of these.
so I'm old, you know.
I want any more.
and,
Oh, look at this. I'll look into this one.
That's good. That's
Look,
good.
let me get this in there.
Young man, trying to do young man.
This is the only thing I think I like.
That's what I'm doing out here, you know. Comedians aren't supposed to be old men, they're supposed to be young ladies.
Young ladies.
Old man trying to do a young man's play. I guess it's say play. Old man trying to play a young man's game. Nothing more pathetic. That's why I don't sit lie down on top of ladies no more.
I see you're back when I raised you.
You know what I mean? It's too humiliating. You know? The lady wants to see me, you know, and my clothes off. And yeah, you're never supposed to retire from that. Anything else you can retire from, like your job, you know, your job understands it. You go, fuck it. I quit. Fuck Abernathy, that old motherfucker. He's never given me that house on a corner. So many lunches with that cocksucker. And then Henderson shows up, and who's got the whatever. I'm quitting. I'm retiring, I tell you. And I go fucking, Ruth and me are gonna rekindle our thing. And everybody understands. So yeah. I don't know how you put up with fucking Abernathy all these years. Retired. Or anything. Like I played hockey my whole life when I was a kid, you know. I thought I was gonna be an NHL, you know. And then, you know, you play and then you go, I'm not even gonna make it in a junior B, I'm not good enough. But you play in rec leagues, you know, and you make the most of it, you know. And then, it's about 3 years ago, it was too much fun. I was getting hit.
3 years ago, that's
young, hitting me, you know. I'm like, God damn, I'm not young, I'm not how hit strong, you know. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm hanging up the tax, quit. Everybody understood it, you know. And yet, with laying down on top of ladies, I don't know why this is. Something in our society. But like you'll hear people go, you know, you should meet my aunt and uncle. My God, they're 86 years old, and they still have a wonderful sex life. And then I go, how about I never meet them? That would be cool. How about I work on creating an app, so if they're anywhere in the vicinity, it alerts me and I run away.
Create an app. Alerts me right away. It's so much in that joke.
Like you meant, like 84 years old. Like, you know, for an 84-year-old man to even achieve an erection would be a miracle. You know? And I'll tell you something that would not help an 84-year-old lady. That's not going to help.
That's not going to help.
So, what's wrong with dignity? Can't you just have some dignity? I'm never retired. I mean, I pretty well have, but it's not, I haven't made it official. That'd be cool if you have a press conference. Yes, I'm retiring from laying down on top of ladies. I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to thank the 14 ladies that let me lay down on top of them. Couldn't have been a very pleasant thing, but it was nice of them. And I'm telling you, I've made it as easy. I'm not a high maintenance like sex person, you know what I mean? I'm very straightforward, you know what I mean? And so I also could get way more ladies. I got no surprises. I'm not gonna go. Okay, that was fun. Now I'm gonna jizz on your foot. You know what I mean? Some of these guys. I was very meat and potatoes, you know, like I'd get a lady, I'd try to trick her into thinking I was a good guy. I'm not a bad guy, but I'd get her back to my place, and then I have this room, my bedroom. It's funny, you know, the bedroom, because it's the place where you sleep and dream of jelly rolls. And then it's also the place of so I would get the ladies back there, and then the place all was black. You know, very gentlemanly, completely black. And then we would disrobe and
what's black?
Neutral corners.
In the room.
And my bed is in the middle, and I have about 4 quilts, and then we climb and get underneath there, find each other, never have to see each other. And then it was over in a little bit, and then never speak of it again. Never did any odd stuff, you know. Like sometimes they did odd stuff, and I would always go like, isn't this whole experience humiliating enough? You have to do what you're doing right there. Like, have you ever been with a lady and she starts laying down with herself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my Lord! And you're like,
What do we like to hear? The case of punch.
shouldn't you be doing that alone? Why? It's like seeing like a magician or something. Because first of all, a lady's fingers can move like so fast, like you know what I mean, like a
Rude.
wing of a hummingbird.
Rude.
It's like so incredibly fast.
Rude.
And then you think about what you were doing, you know, because 5 minutes earlier you were like, how about this? Is that doing anything for you?
So we have so much bad stuff. I'm just like a pig. How about this with this? And an avocado. Where'd they go?
There's was something there.
I'm still long.
I don't drink booze anymore also because I'm afraid. This is the thing. I'm afraid. You know, I want to live forever. That's my goal. So far, it's worked out pretty well, but let's face it, you know what I mean? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but, you know, 100 years from now, you know, this room will be empty. But, it's too bad. It's one of those things. That's why a doctor, when you think about it, you go to a doctor, they can never really give you good news about it.
Terrible
You know what I'm
routine.
saying? Like,
Really?
Can't
you know,
handle
like a doctor will never come
Check
to
it
you
out.
and go, well, Mrs. Simpson, we've checked your blood panels here. We got them. And good news. You're immortal.
I'm not even gonna hear
You don't have to come back anymore. So, you can't do that. All they can do is stay with the execution. They go, yes, we've looked at your Mrs. Robinson, whatever your name was. We checked out your blood panels, and everything looks perfectly fine. So anyways, I'd just like you to come back, see me once a year, and one day, I will tell you something. Shatter, you'll be on your knees. Believe me, I've seen it. That guy earlier today was begging me for his life. He was going to grab my pants. People are funny. I don't know. What about when the doctor goes, yes, now, is your wife in the waiting room? Maybe she should come in. You're like, no! No, not my wife. Why does my wife have been I'm talking too much? But listen, everybody, you know what I mean? Hey, I had my living will. Listen, people think like I'm a hypochondriac because I do all these things. I'm not a hypochondriac. I know that you have to get things in their first, in order to, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes maybe you'll do something and you get fucking, you know, like one time, you ever get like just a guy sticks something you do. Like one time I had a fucking job and I came in, I had a donut, right? Whatever. And it had like sprinkles on it. It was all on one side, the sprinkles, I don't know what, but anyway. And this guy, he goes, hey, a guy likes sprinkles on the side of his donut. That's all he fucking ever said. I worked there a year. So anyways, I understand people like to pigeonhole you, right? And I don't know why I'm talking about that. All I'm saying is that people thought, I think, you know, a lot of people, like doctors think I'm a hypochondriac, because maybe it's on my chart or something. Because one time I had a patch. Whatever. I'm proud of it, you know? But anyways, I had my living will made. Now, if any of you haven't done this, my God, it's good. Great great, great thing. What it is in case you go into a coma, right? You go into a coma, and then they plug you into the well. And so you make this living will because you won't be able to talk and make your wishes known because you'll be in a coma. So you prevent that by making out this living will to tell. Mostly it's about the plug. My entire, I made the thing out. It took me like 5 minutes. It was just like, keep your fucking hands off that plug. That's all that's. Mine's very simple, you know. But people don't get it done because they don't think of that. They don't think they're going to be one of the people. You know what I'm saying? But it's just statistics, you know. Like, yeah, listen, there's 500 of us here now. Whatever, the statistics. You know, 3 of you are going to be plugged into a wall one day. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I'm not going to say which is. I don't think that's fair. But you ever do that with a group of people, like 500 people? You're like, yeah, I wonder how many of you fuck kids. Right now, 3 or 4 people, shifty-eyed. If you see someone shifty-eyed right now, it's just numbers. Here's the thing, if you don't make out a living will, then here's who decides whether or not they should pull the plug. Your family. And I wonder what they always decide every single time. And here's what I can understand, you know what I mean? Because, you know, one of your loved ones goes in a coma, and for a while it's cool, you know, like, you bring over your friends, you're like, check this out. That used to eat, drink, have dreams and goals, everything. But that loses novelty after a while, you know, and then all of a sudden your family, they remember things, you know, because they'll go like, did Norm ever make his wishes known? Did this ever come up, you know? And then I know what would happen. My brother would be going, yes. Now that you mention it. About the plugging him into the well thing? Yes. I remember one time, me and Norm, we were at a cheese sandwich store, right? And I'm talking to him and stuff, and I says to him, hey, Norm, what would happen if you were plugged into the wall, something like that, right? And he says to me that, to kill him. And then I get to go back to my regular life, right? Is that the deal? I don't even have one plug, by the way. I have a big series of plugs. Labyrinthian, because here's what I don't want, is like a fucking janitor, because I have one wide rooms. And here's my plug. And my brother's like slipping a 5 in the hallway. I know the wicked ways of men, you know. A better way to decide would be to go, what would the guy say? You know what I mean? Like, what would a person in that situation say if he could say? You know? And not like my mother, you know, she goes, oh, you wouldn't want to be a burden. I'm like, what? I'm sorry if I interrupt your fucking game of hearts every 2 weeks with the girls, so you can come and touch the back of my hand so that I know that I am. But I'm a little burdened myself. I got a fucking plug here in the wall. A little burdensome. She was like, you don't want to live forever. I'm like, that's all I ever think of. What are you talking about? That's her thing. She's like, I get boring. Living forever would be boring. I'm like, oh, yeah, oh. Couldn't they think of a more boring thing than living forever, experiencing everything that's ever been experienced, ever will be experienced, anything you can imagine you can experience, anything you can never imagine you can experience. What a yawner that'd be. Not like my mother's idea of being buried underneath the earth. That never gets old. What the fuck is she talking about? Listen, man, I know I'm going to live forever, because I have faith. I have faith in God. It's funny, when I was a kid, everybody when I was a kid was religious. Just to depending on what religion you were. You go, what are you? I go, I'm a Presbyterian. You go, I'm a Baptist. What are you, a retard or something? You should be a Baptist. But now, if you're a Christian at all, people think you're a fucking retard. You may as well say I'm a retard. Because all the smart people are atheists, But I'm not smart enough. I'm certainly not strong enough to be an atheist. And I don't know what I do, because I'm in for the long game, you know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck who the president is. I'm talking the long game. Like 3, 4, 5,000 years from now, what am I going to be doing then, If I was an atheist, I'll tell you this. This is one thing. Because you can believe what you want, but I would never, I don't know what I'd do if I was an atheist. I think this is what I'd do. I'd wake up, I'd eat my Count Chocula, I'd watch First Take, and I'd eat some more Count Chocula. And then I'd turn on Sports Center, I'd have a cheese sandwich, and I'd go to sleep. But I wouldn't feel compelled to really do anything other than that. Just get by until they bury me underneath the earth. Here's what I would never do as if I was an atheist. This is what I know it's not a crime, but I think it might be a sin. If I was an atheist, I would never try to talk someone else into being an atheist. I think that's just maybe the worst thing you could ever do. You know what I mean? Like, you can believe it, but by God, what's the motive in that, Like, you go, hey, excuse me over there, you with the glister of hope in your eyes. Come on over here, I gotta touch you a little bit. Here's the deal. Everything's meaningless. You live, you get sick, and then you die. Dirt, and there's dirt. Anyways, you want to come over to my house and talk about it all the fucking time? Me and my friends? That's all we ever do. We just talk about it all fucking day long. I have a podcast. We talk about that. Everybody believes in God. Even atheists believe in God. Why the fuck would they talk about it all the fucking time? They're always like, it'd be like unicorns. I'm like, well, I don't hear you talking about fucking unicorns all the time. Go talk about that for a while, you fucker. But of course, everyone believes in God. You have to be retarded not to. But, of course, no one knows the nature of God. You gotta just choose one, flip a coin. It's one of my biggest fears if I pick the wrong. What if you know what I mean? You take your whole life, your whole life. You believe in God, but you pick the false God. And then you die, and then it's like, oh, fuck, it's you? What the? I should have been slaying heretics the entire time. I was trying to... It's funny, people think like, a lot of people have a misconception about Christians saying, oh, they think they're better than everybody else. That's not true at all. Christians actually, we know that we're nothing, we're useless, we're sinners, we can't help but sin. We can't help but always be bad. You know what I mean? And only through the grace. I'll give you an example, right? I eat apples. Now, I'm a Christian. I try to be a good Christian. It's on page 1. Page 1 of the book. Worst thing you can do. It shows how shaky your faith is. It doesn't? Why do you shake your head? Oh, were you just having a daydream or something? I don't know if you saw what you were doing that with your eye. I don't know, were you was something going on in your head? It wasn't something I said, right? Was it? You're not an atheist, right? No, are you an atheist? Seriously? Jennifer, talk to me. Yeah. No, of course you're not an atheist. I look at you, I can see God in your eyes, you know. I can see an immortal soul when I look into your eyes. And that's what I see when I look into anyone's eyes. And if you try that, you know, then you won't pass homeless guys anymore without giving them, 4 bits or so, you know, because if you look at a person and in their eyes you see an immortal being, then no one's bad. You know what I mean? No one's good, no one's bad. They're just immortal. What about some of those commandments? So, like, some of them very easy to follow. Some of them very tough. Like, thou shalt not kill. You know, get through life without killing someone. But then there's these nuanced ones like covetousness. Covet. How the fuck can you? You know, you're just man. How can you not covet? Like, there's one of the commandments, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's ox. Right? Now, first of all, I don't think that's fair, because a lot of people, their neighbors don't even have an ox. So they get to skate by the fucking thing. But meanwhile, what about me? Right? I got my own ox. I got a Mexican guy. It doesn't matter what fucking nationality he is, but I should have got it from a store. That's what I'm saying. I was trying to save some money. I get this fucking scraggly old fucking ox. And, it's all matted hair and everything. It's got a big old fucking hump or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. I phoned the guy. I go, why is the ox like he's like he's got bursitis? I'm like, what? Bursitis? It's like as long as he doesn't lift anything or pull anything. I mean, what? An ox? What are you? Anyway, I can't unload it. I'm feeding him and whatever. He lives in my garage. And then I leave my house, right? I go by my neighbor's house, and his garage door is open. Surprise! And what's inside his garage? Oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful. It's like this steel blue kind of. It's the most lustrous Belgian ox. And he's always like, you want to pet my ox? I'm like, no! I got my own ox, see? You behind me, Earl. Fucking Earl and his ox. I believe in Jesus Christ. Now they're saying that Jesus Christ did historically probably exist. And here's something that I just found out recently that I didn't really know. Do you know who also existed at the same time? You ever heard of Jesus H. Christ? Read a whole book about this fucking guy. He was plagued because people would show up with, hey, master. He's like, no, I'm not the guy. He lives way over there. I'm not. Jesus Harold Christ. That's my name. I should have gone with a Harold. Anyway, fascinating story. He was always bothered throughout his whole fucking life. People touching his robe and shit. That's what finally got him. A bunch of fucking lepers touched him. And then Jesus H. Christ became a leper himself, and he tried to find Jesus Christ, he couldn't find him. And he died a sinner. Anyways. The show ended a long fucking time ago. I'll tell you. I apologize for taking that. Listen. Being the Sabbath, I felt I had to testify a little bit. But now, I'm back, and I'm going to tell you the best joke that's ever been told. It's the greatest joke, and you've never heard it. Here's an interesting thing. You've never heard this joke. It's a great joke. I may have written it. I don't know. But it's not one of those, it's not like a stand-up comedian joke where you can actually tell people this joke. It's not like, you don't have to go, hey, I have a cat. Okay, none of that shit. This is an actual joke. So here it is. I think you guys will think it's the greatest joke of all time. You will be telling this joke tomorrow, if not tonight. Here it is. A woman, and then I'll leave. But I want to thank you. Thank you for coming here. You've done fantastic. I understand that you, I was going to say you have your choice. I don't know what I was saying. I understand you have your choice in airlines, and you... Well, when you're on a plane, you didn't have a choice, you know what I mean? Thank you for taking Aleutian Airlines. We know you could have taken many. You're like, no, what the fuck? I'm going to the Aleutian Islands. I have no choice. But anyways, here's the joke. Here's the joke. And then God bless you. Okay. A guy has a wife, and his wife says to him, hey, Herb, I want to ask you something. Does my ass look fat in these jeans? And then Herb says, oh yeah, listen, honey. I'm going to tell you the complete truth, but you've got to promise you won't be angry with me no matter what I say. She goes, no, just tell me. He goes, okay. I'm fucking your sister. All right, God bless you folks, all right? Take care of yourselves.
Norm Macdonald, keep it going for Norm, everybody. Yes. Oh, you guys are so awesome. Guys, keep it going for Carolyn Porter from earlier. Keep it going for Carolyn. Yes. Keep it going for our special guest, Barry Sobel. For Barry. And I've been Kieran McKiernan. Thanks so much for being great. Have a great Sunday, guys. You guys have been awesome. Thank you.